Video lecture on Computer Integrated Manufacturing Systems, ME 8094, a 3-credit paper that is prescribed for final year mechanical engineering students. The subject is not altogether new to you. You have had a glimpse of the contents of this subject in your earlier semesters. In 5th semester, you have learned a subject computer aided drawing and manufacturing, where you have learned the basics of CAD and CAM. You have learned part programming, you have learned what are the basics of computer aided design, that is geometric modeling and CNC part programming. All those you have learned in your previous semesters. So this semester we are going to learn computer integrated manufacturing systems, and the syllabus has 5 units. That is the introduction to CAD and CAM, then production planning and control and computerized process planning, cellular manufacturing, flexible manufacturing systems and AGVs, and industrial robotics. I feel that this subject is a comprehensive collection of various other subjects, that is CAD and CAM, then production planning and control, process planning, then you have introduction about industrial robotics. So this subject is a good comprehensive collection of all the topics that you need to know within manufacturing area. So without any further ado, we'll move to the unit 1. The textbook prescribed for this subject is Michael P. Gruber, Automation Production Systems and Computer Integrated Manufacturing. And the other textbook is Radhakrishnan, Subramanian and Raju, CAD CAM Sim. You can refer both the books. Both the books have ample and nice content. Manufacturing is a collection of interrelated activities that includes product design, documentation, material selection, planning, production, quality assurance, management and marketing of goods. You know that a product comes to the market from the customer demand, and it goes through several stages in design and manufacturing. The design has to be approved, the design has to be passed down to the manufacturing unit, and then from the manufacturing unit it has to pass through the quality testing, and then it reaches the market. So manufacturing is a collection of all these interrelated activities. The fundamental goal of manufacturing is to use these activities to convert raw materials into finished goods on a profitable basis. So that is the major idea of manufacturing. So we know that the order winning criteria, that is for a manufacturing sector or an industry to sustain, these are the major order winning criteria: price, quality, the delivery speed and innovation ability. So being in an Indian market or any other global market, the price plays a very important role. The quality has to be good. Then the delivery speed, we have learned just in time production. So delivery speed is very important. Then innovation ability, if there is any creativity in its design, in the product design or development. So all these are order winning criteria. The product life cycle curve, you have learned. A product's life cycle starts from introduction of the product into the market, the growth of the product in the market, maturity, and then again the product goes into the decline mode. This is the product life cycle curve of any product. So it is very imperative that the product stays in this maturity area for a longer time. If it's so, we have designed a very good product. So the product life cycle can be changed by improvement of the current model. If there is any redundant components, or if there are any components that need to be replaced by any other kind of component, if we do all those in the existing product, then that can improve the product's life cycle. Case in, or improvement of current model, leaping or developing a new product similar to the initial product, innovation, or using genuine new product invention to identify follow-up merchandise. So all these factors can change the order winning criteria. Market share is increased when the order winning criteria are understood and executed better than the competitors. So the solution to all of this is computer integrated manufacturing. You can meet almost all of the order winning criteria with the help of computer integrated manufacturing. Has different definitions for different users, since it is used by a varied kinds of engineers. Shop communications for recurring processes, non-recurring processes, engineering and manufacturing communications, other users, improving communication through SIM. In all these areas we have SIM, and in each area it plays a different role. So I can simply define computer integrated manufacturing as the integration of the total manufacturing enterprise through the use of integrated systems and data communications, coupled with new managerial philosophies that improve organizational and personal efficiency. So it is the integration of the total enterprise, manufacturing enterprise. So you can see the wheel here, where the customer forms the central core of the wheel. The people, teamwork, organization. So there are three major things: customer support, the product or the process, and the manufacturing. All these three factors play the manufacturing enterprise wheel. So SIM is nothing but the use of computer as an enabling tool for information flow or for information management. The integration is nothing but interfacing between the CNC or the design model, or it may be interfacing the information from the customer to the design department, shared information, shared functionality, where all the departments can concurrently control the manufacturing process. Manufacturing, that is production control, production scheduling, process design, product design, and manufacturing enterprise. All these put together form the computer integrated manufacturing system. The various components of SIM and the subsystems include CAD, computer aided design, CAM, CAPP. CAPP is computer aided process planning, CAE, ERP, enterprise resource planning, PLCs, CAEs, computers, automated conveyors, CNCs, DNCs, robotics, controllers, FMS, ASRS, AGVs, monitoring equipment, and others. All these are the benefits reaped out of SIM. So the sample SIM subsystems are shown here. Design SIM may be used in design, sales and marketing, product engineering, manufacturing. So SIM database has all these subsystems contained in it. So all these sections are pooled together in a single interface, so that the database plays like an encyclopedia, which can be referred every time by any department simultaneously. So it maintains the centrality of manufacturing in a market oriented economy. So the scope of SIM includes design, manufacturing planning, manufacturing control, business functions, and the factory operations. So computerized elements of a SIM system, when it comes to design, it means CAD, computer aided design, geometric modeling, engineering analysis, design review and evaluation, automated drafting. All these are possible with SIM, that is the CAD, which is a subsystem of SIM. When it comes to manufacturing, cost estimation can be done, computer aided process planning, NC part programming, computerized work study, then capacity planning. All these can be done using SIM. So when it comes to manufacturing control, process can be controlled, process monitoring, shop floor control, computer aided inspection methods and quality control. Then when it comes to business functions, computerized business functions include order entry, accounting, payroll, and customer billing. So SIM is an integrated system. I repeat the same word, integrated, because it integrates all the different modules of any manufacturing enterprise. So in a traditional design process, the design process followed the shown steps. First, the need was recognized from the customer. Then the problem was defined. The synthesis of various alternatives was presented. Then all the alternatives were analyzed, and the best optimized solution was evaluated, and then it was presented. Here, advent of CAD, the synthesis was helped using geometric modeling. Analysis was easily done using the analysis tools that are available in computer-aided design analysis softwares. Then design review was done using the analysis softwares. They could be easily evaluated with the available computerized calculating methods. Finally, the automated drafting helped in the quicker presentation of the design. So similarly, a part programmer's job was only to give the APT program, and that program will be translated easily to the CNC machine using arithmetic calculations. The cutter offset will be done by itself. The post processor will translate the commands to the machine, and then the CNC will perform the operations. And finally, you can see that CAD and CAM share the same database, where in CAD you can see that geometric modeling, analysis, kinematics, and automated drafting are done. And in CAM you can see that the major uses include numerical control, robotics, process planning, factory management. Process planning is nothing but sequencing the manufacturing operations that need to be done for any product. Robotics, that robots have ventured into areas where humans cannot, like in a nuclear power plant or in a mountainous region. It is used. It is being used in military these days. So CAD and CAM share the same database. The integration of CAD and CAM is the SIM. So the design and the manufacturing, both design and manufacturing share the same database. For modeling, analysis, review, and documentation in design, process planning, part programming, tool design, materials ordering, for all these in manufacturing sector. Then there is an approach called the sequential approach in engineering and the concurrent approach in engineering. The sequential approach is nothing but the picture which you can see says that the design department and manufacturing department have a wall in between them, and sequential engineering approach is also called the over the wall approach, as the design department and the manufacturing department wouldn't have a simultaneous contact during the work. So the design will be completed in its whole large form, and then it will be translated to the manufacturing department. If the manufacturer has any issues with the design, he has to again send it back to the design department, and this led to a larger lengthier lead times for manufacturing. And in concurrent engineering, you can see that with the advent of SIM, both the design department, manufacturing department, be it the business department, all these departments are sharing a common database. So the design and manufacturing can communicate with each other even during the design process or during any stage of the process. So in concurrent approach, they will have a team which comprises of experts from all the domains of manufacturing enterprise, that is design, manufacturing, marketing. Experts from all these departments will form a healthy team, and then they'll be brainstorming all the issues, and then they will come up with a design. This led to avoidance of a longer lead time and a optimized solution. Now that we have seen the different approaches towards engineering, any manufacturing enterprise, the major objective is to translate the inputs into useful outputs. The inputs include materials, the raw materials required, labor, machines or machine tools that are available in the enterprise, facilities, energy, information and technology. All these inputs go through a transformation process or the conversion process, where they are processed and they are converted into useful products and services. And once the services reach the customer, there is an information feedback, and that feedback is again worked upon. Now we'll see what are the types of production systems based on the production quantity. To know the different types of production systems, we need to know the product quantity and product variety. So production quantity is the number of units of a given part or product produced annually by the plant. Three quantities are there, that is the product volume. Quantity refers to the volume of the product. Three quantity ranges or low production 1 to 100 units, medium production 100 to 10,000 units, high production 10,000 to millions of units. So based on product volume, there are three kinds of production: low production, medium production and high production. Low production 1 to 100 units, medium 100 to 10,000 and high production 10,000 to millions of units. And product variety refers to number of different product or part designs or types produced in the plant. So product variety refers to the types of products that are manufactured within the firm. Inverse relationship between production quantity and product variety is there in factory operations. So product variety is more complicated than a number. You can simply say that if you manufacture about 10,000 units, it falls under high production. But product variety is more complicated. Hard product variety, products differ greatly, few common components in an assembly. So the product variety is hard, like you'll be manufacturing an IC engine and you will be manufacturing some other component, then the product variety is hard. When there is soft product variety, small differences between the products. Say you manufacture bowls of different sizes, there the product variety is soft, many common components in an assembly. Low production quantity, you call that kind of a production as job shop production. They make low quantities of specialized and customized products. Includes production of components for these products. Products are typically very complex, specialized machineries, prototypes, space capsules. So here the variety will be very high, whereas the production quantity will be less. So the kinds of layouts that can be used for this kind of production, low production, is fixed position layout and process layout. You know that fixed position layout is nothing but all the manufacturing machines or in fixed positions. A process layout, say for example, for a fixed position layout, you can call a shipbuilding to be an example of fixed position layout. The ship is constantly there, fixed, because it is very huge. All the welding equipments are taken to that place and they build the ship. So such kinds of layouts are called as fixed position layouts. Process layouts are layouts where the machines are arranged in groups. Let us say grinding machines are grouped together, milling machines are grouped together, then lathes are grouped together. If the machines are grouped according to their processes, then they are called as, then such kind of a layout is called as process layout. For low production quantity, we go for either fixed position layout or process layout. For medium production quantities, that is the product variety is there and the product volume is also between 10 to 100 units. A batch of a given product is produced and then the facility is changed over to produce another product. Say for example, I produce 100 units of the same component and then I change the CNC program and then I manufacture another component. Such kind of production is called as batch production. So there is the changeover time. Say I have to change the tooling, I have to change the program, so there is a setup time. The typical layout that is used is process layout. The product variety is sufficiently high. Cellular manufacturing is also a kind of medium production. a mixture of products is made without significant change over time between the products. Cellular manufacturing is a kind of group technology where components having similar shape or similar manufacturing operations are grouped together first and then they are manufactured. Such kind of manufacturing is called cellular manufacturing. The typical layout is cellular layout. That cell or that group can manufacture components belonging to the same part family. We will see what is a part family in the future units. So this has a soft product variety. So the components may have similarities in their design or manufacturing attributes. So that is a kind of medium production. Then high production. Coming to high production, the product volume is very high. Quantity production. Equipment is dedicated to the manufacture of one product. Let us say the industry or the factory is going to manufacture one kind of product. In such case, the machine will be completely dedicated for the manufacture of that one component. Example, stamping presses or molding machines. They will be performing the same operation. They can produce only one kind of product. So that typical layout is process layout. Then there is another kind of production in high production kind, flow line production. Multiple workstations are arranged in sequence. A better example is the assembling of a car or an automobile. So it requires multiple processing or assembly steps. So that layout, when the product enters that layout and when it exits, the assembly operation is completed. There are a variety of assembly operations, there are a variety of processes, but starting from the inlet to the outlet, the product is getting processed or manufactured. Such kind of layout is called as product layout. So you can see the different kinds of productions systems that are available. Product variety is on the y-axis, production quantity is on the x-axis. So within 100 it is low production, 100 to 10,000 is batch production, and the above 10,000 it is continuous production. When it comes to the product variety, you can see that both follow an inverse relationship, as I told earlier. When the variety is high, the volume is low. When the variety is medium, the volume is medium. When the variety is very low, the volume is very high. So both product variety and production quantity follow a inverse relationship. For job shop production, we go for fixed position layout. Batch production, process layout. And continuous production or mass production, we go for a product layout. And the process layout is a common layout that can fit into any kind of production system. So the various characteristics of different production system is given here. The speed of processing is low in job production, slow in batch production, fast in the mass production.